Hello, my name is Alina Phoenix, and I'm a certified emotion code body code practitioner. I've been getting quite a few questions lately about what exactly emotion code body code is, how it works, and how it might benefit you. So I decided to do a short video to talk about just those things. So emotion code is based on the work of Dr. Bradley Nelson, who is a chiropractor, and he wrote this book, The Emotion Code. Here's my Kindle version. You can get that at the library, on the Kindle store, or order it off of your favorite book website. But it's the starting point for learning how to do this modality. It starts with defining trapped emotions. So trapped emotions are any time that we feel a strong negative emotion, but we're not able to get to the point where we can release it and let it go. And when that happens, it's kind of like there's a part of us that is always feeling that way. And it makes it more likely for us to feel that same way over and over again. Many people refer to these as our triggers or our baggage. And so if you find yourself with triggers or baggage, then this might be a helpful modality for you. And so it starts with a chart of 60 emotions, which you can get that for free by searching emotion code chart online, or there's a free app called the Emotion Code. And then we use muscle testing to identify the emotion and if we need to know more information. So I personally use the ring and ring method. So show me yes, show me no. So when I am muscle testing, I can ask yes and no questions to identify exactly what that emotion is that's bothering you. And then if I need to know more information. If I need to know more information, generally it's the age at which it happened. Age can be plus or minus 1 year because we don't walk around going, I'm 26 years old and I feel angry. We just don't think that way. And so if I need to know more information than that, which would be whether the emotion was absorbed, inherited, or perhaps even past life. So once we identify the emotion and as much information as the body requires for us to acknowledge it properly so that we can let it go, we then use an energy tool, like I personally prefer my wand that I created, or you can use a magnet and you swipe 3 times over the master meridian to let that emotion go. There are certain instances, such as inherited emotions, where we do need to figure out the lineage of where that emotion came from, and then you swipe 10 times over the master meridian or governing meridian in order to be able to let that go. And then the purpose of the tool is to amplify the intention and ensure that it worked. And so we start with the emotion code when we do a session, and you will generally have some memories associated with the things that come up, but that's not always true. We do have a box in our brain labeled do not ever think about again, and sometimes when we have an extremely traumatic experience, we will chuck it in that box and repress that memory. The problem is the box leaks, and those are our triggers and our baggage. And so this is not like talk therapy. We are not sitting there and discussing, oh, what happened? How did it feel? We are simply identifying the emotion, the age, and exactly enough information to be able to easily let that go. And that makes it a much more comfortable process for me personally, because I've tried the therapy route, and while I did learn valuable life skills, I did not find the process of talking about and revisiting the traumatic events of my life to be as helpful as they might have wished it to. So in a typical session, I can find and release generally anywhere from about 25 to 35 trapped emotions. Everybody's a little different. I always ask to release as much as your body can safely release at any given point in time, because I don't want to throw you into crisis or make a further imbalance by releasing too much at once. Once we release the emotions during a session, then we move on to body code. Body code is a very similar process, only instead of one chart of 60 emotions, I have a series of charts in an app that allows me to identify over 1,200 different kinds of energy imbalances. This is a much more complicated process. Dr. Nelson said that anything can cause anything, so that really narrows it down. And when we get into a body code session, I never know what's going to come up. But the wonderful thing about it is the app does define what the imbalance is and what kind of symptoms are usually associated with that imbalance. And so when I have something that comes up, I can describe what those symptoms might be associated with that. And 95% of the time, the people that I'm working with are like, oh, yes, I have definitely got one or more of those symptoms. When there's no symptoms associated with it, generally it's because that imbalance is at a mild state and it hasn't started manifesting in the physical yet, which is good. It's really good to catch those before they become problems. And the other thing to know is that with the body code, you might have this imbalance here that you're working on, but we also have to find the associated imbalances. So, this imbalance here, let's say we want to work on a skin rash right here and we want to target this, but there's, 3, 4, or possibly more or less associated imbalances with that. In order to correct this imbalance up here, we have to find all of the underlying imbalances and then clear from the bottom up before we can address this one. And so I can typically find anywhere from 5 to 10 of the major imbalances in a body code session, but that might end up being 20 to 40 things depending on how many associated layers there are with those. We're all just a bunch of onions. We have a lot of layers to what's going on in our lives. And so it's very important to get down to that root level and try and address the bottom line of what's going on so that everything can just get better. When we do these releases, there are many people that are able to feel the energy releasing and changing as the session happens, and then there are others that do not. But the nice thing about this is I feel like this modality is fairly concrete. So I do a full written report of every single thing that I find and address for you during the course of a session, and you as the person that's being worked on can generally go down that list and go, yes, 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 yes. I don't really remember that one. Maybe this one doesn't feel like it applies so much, but the vast majority of the things that come up, you will be able to correctly say that, yes, this does apply to my life. And I like that concreteness to this particular modality as compared to, say, the Reiki that I've had before. Reiki is very helpful and beneficial and healing, but at the same time, it's also ephemeral. And so when I've worked with Reiki practitioners before, they've been able to say, well, I can feel a lot of energy going into your heart chakra or something of that nature, but it's less like being able to say, okay, well, I'm finding that your triple warmer meridian is out of balance and that can cause the symptoms of imbalance in the fight, flight, or freeze response and disconnection with other body parts and imbalance in your temperature and trouble letting go of negativity and all of these other symptoms that are associated with this. And then you can go, actually, I have that symptom, that symptom, that symptom, that symptom that are all applying to me right now. And then knowing that we've addressed that. So I like the concreteness of this modality for that reason. So the other thing that happens with this is once we do a session, your body will generally need to process that session. During the first 48 hours is when this process is the most intense. About 80% of the people just feel better after having a session, but in about 20% of the cases, you will experience symptoms during the processing. Those symptoms can include feeling extra tired, feeling extra cranky, mild reoccurrences of some of the emotions that may have been released. And so during that time, it's important to practice extra self-care. Take a nap if you need to, stay very hydrated. Bath with Epsom salts is also very rebalancing for the energy. And if there's anything too intense or bothersome, please text or call. And I am very happy to see if there's something else that needs to be addressed or some other sort of support that your body might need. Speaking of additional support, that is something else that tends to come up in the body code process. During this process, we can ask your body things like, is there a particular food that you need to add or eliminate to your diet, or a particular substance like a supplement, or maybe a color, or it might be a magnet, those kind of things. And so you will also receive some advice as far as concrete, small, additional things that you you can do to support your body's healing, as well as how long you need to do that. And I also do like to provide you with additional resources so that you can learn more about your own particular substance, like sensitivities, your own particular abilities, and how to better take care of yourself. So when you leave a session with me, you will learn about different things that you can do to support yourself in your own healing process. Because as much as I would love to help every single person in this world, I am only one person. And there's only so many hours in the day. And so I feel like one of the most important things that I can do as a practitioner is to empower you with the knowledge and actions that you can take to further improve your own life, which I think is a wonderful thing. So I also do provide a lot of additional information and support through YouTube like this. I've got much free healing available on YouTube, as well as other descriptions of things that can be done to help you. I'm also a creator of Organite energy healing tools and EMF protection, because we are bombarded by electromagnetic radiation all the time. It is my favorite tool to be able to magnify and amplify my intention during my clearing processes. So that's my little magic wand there with all the chakras in there and a little opalite on top. I also make things like Organite pucks. I make things like coasters. I make things like pyramids. I make things like, little desk roses or even statues. I also have cell phone protection and pendants and things. And for those of us that are particularly sensitive, I do have a tendency to attract people that have a particular sensitivity to energy, like natural empaths, highly intuitive people, natural mediums, things like that. Those of us that are sensitive do have a tendency to pick up unwanted energy from other people and from the world and then carry it around like it's our own, and that can be imbalancing too. And so I want to provide you with tools to help you move through the world without having to feel so much of that unwanted additional energy. And this is a wonderful, easy way to do it is through that Organite, which I always have on me. So you can find out more or purchase a session from me at www.phoenix.healingcreations.com. I also invite you to please check out any of my other videos if you'd like to learn how to muscle test. If you would like some free healing, please do check out my other videos that are available. And if there is anything that I could do for you, if you'd like to book a session, please do reach out to me. I want to help. I am here to help. I have gone through so much myself. I never judge other people because I know what life can be like. And it's just one of those things. We are all here learning lessons, and we're all onions. We're not going to be able to fix the whole human being in a single session. We've got to do things a layer at a time, and so it's always a process. But if you feel like I resonate with you, I invite you to please visit me at www.phoenix.healingcreations.com and make yourself a session. I would love to be of service. So thank you so much for spending some time with me today and watching my video, and I look forward to working with you soon.